Have you ever looked into the eyes of a stranger and felt an overwhelming familiarity, as if you've met before, shared lifetimes, emotions, moments that aren't part of this life, but still feel undeniably real? These are not coincidences. This is a universe showing you a truth far deeper than most dare to realize. The people you meet over and over again in different skins and different stories are fragments of an eternal soul connection. They follow you through lifetimes like echoes of unfinished lessons, unresolved bonds, or sacred contracts forged before your birth. Your soul is not wandering through this reality alone. It is part of a tightly woven web of other souls, some supportive, some challenging, some mirrors, some shadows. And these souls reincarnate with you over and over, playing different roles. In one life, they may be your parent. In another, your enemy. Then a lover, then a teacher. But it's always them, reappearing, shifting, challenging you to grow, to remember, to evolve. The face may change, the name may be new, but the frequency is the same, and your soul knows it. These connections are not just emotional, they are energetic agreements made in the liminal space between lives. Before you incarnated, your soul sat in a higher plane and chose the blueprint of your current life. It knew what lessons it wanted to learn, what karma it needed to resolve, what experiences it needed to have in order to expand its frequency. But no soul plans alone. Others volunteer to be part of your journey. Some choose to love you, others to hurt you, some to guide, and others to betray. Not out of cruelty, but out of sacred purpose. Because sometimes the deepest growth is born from the deepest wounds. This is why you feel an instant connection to certain people. You meet them, and something inside you stirs. You can't explain it, but it's magnetic, timeless, almost haunting. These are your soul recognitions. Their energy bypasses your logic and speaks directly to your spiritual memory. You don't remember the details, but your soul does. It remembers the tears, the love, the wars, the vows. It remembers dying in their arms or watching them fade into another life. It remembers the pain that never found closure, the promises never fulfilled, the bonds never severed. And so you meet again in a new world, a new time, different circumstances, but the same echo. That is why the emotions are so intense, why the chemistry is unexplainable, why the conflict feels ancient. It is. These aren't just people, they're keys, triggers, catalysts. They awaken your dormant memories and bring to the surface the very shadows you came here to face. Not to repeat old patterns, but to transcend them, to finally complete what was left undone. Some of these souls are part of your soul group, a collective of kindred spirits that evolve together across lifetimes. Others are part of your karmic cycle, souls you are bound to until the energetic balance is restored. These relationships can feel like blessings or curses depending on the lesson, but they are always necessary. You did not come here to live in isolation. You came to experience the full spectrum of connection in all its beauty and brutality. This is why you find yourself repeating certain dynamics with different people. The faces change, but the patterns remain. The arguments, the heartbreaks, the magnetic pull, it's because the lesson hasn't been learned. The energy hasn't been cleared. The cycle hasn't been broken. Until you become conscious of the soul beneath the role, until you realize this is not about them, but about your own evolution, you will continue to meet them again, in different masks, different voices, different stories. But the moment you awaken to this truth, everything changes. You begin to see your relationships through a higher lens. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" You move from victimhood to sovereignty, from confusion to clarity, from pain to purpose, and in that shift, the pattern begins to dissolve. The karma clears, the soul remembers, and the cycle is no longer necessary. That's why you keep meeting the same people in different bodies. It's not random, it's sacred, a sign that your soul is ready to evolve, not just by knowing, but by remembering. And it all begins with awareness. But here's where it gets even deeper. Most people don't realize that they chose these encounters, not just once, but over and over again. In the vast stillness before incarnation, you sat with these other souls and said, "I need you to help me wake up." And they replied, "I'll do it, even if it means you'll hate me for it." That's how sacred these soul contracts are. Even the most painful betrayals in your life may have been born out of love, a higher love, beyond the human understanding of fairness or comfort. That pain you carry, that person who broke you, lied to you, left you, or devastated you, they may be one of your oldest allies in the soul realm. Not because they wanted to hurt you, but because they were willing to be the mirror sharp enough to cut through your illusions, to force you to remember your power, to help you reclaim your boundaries, to break your heart wide open so the light could finally get in. And just as some are here to challenge you, others return as your sacred companions, the ones who see you instantly, who make you feel safe without saying a word, who calm the storms inside you without needing to fix them. These are the soulmates, the kindred echoes that travel with you from realm to realm. You've cried with them through lifetimes. You've built empires together, died side by side in wars, laughed under other moons. And when you find each other again in this life, there's no mistaking it. It's like stepping back into a story already in motion. But not all familiar souls stay forever. Some enter your life like a lightning bolt, intense, fleeting, transformative. These are soul catalysts. They arrive to awaken something dormant in you, a forgotten memory, a hidden purpose, a part of yourself you buried long ago. And when their work is done, they vanish. Not because they don't care, but because their role was never meant to be permanent. Their purpose was to push you onto the next part of your journey. This is why clinging to every deep connection can lead to suffering. Not all soul recognitions are meant to be relationships. Some are simply meetings, energetic checkpoints that say, "You're on the right path. Keep going." The ego wants to possess. The soul simply remembers. And in remembering, it releases, it blesses, it honors. There's something else too, a deeper layer, rarely spoken about. Sometimes, you're not just meeting the same soul in a new body. You're meeting a fragment of your own soul, because your soul is vast, far too expansive to fit into one body at a time. In some cases, you incarnate simultaneously in multiple bodies across different lifetimes and timelines. This means that intense connection you feel might not be another, but an aspect of you, a mirror, not just emotionally, but cosmically. That's why certain people reflect your darkest shadows and brightest light with terrifying accuracy. They are not separate from you. They are you, in another form, expressing what you have not yet integrated. These twin flames, twin rays, or soul fragments appear in your life like atomic collisions. They don't come to complete you. they come to dissolve the illusion that you were ever incomplete. And let's not forget, this cycle of reincarnation, of meeting familiar souls again and again, is not endless. It is a spiral, not a circle. With each return, the lessons deepen, the memory sharpens. And if you're paying attention, if you're doing the inner work, you begin to graduate from karmic entanglement to conscious evolution. You start choosing differently, responding instead of reacting, loving without attachment, releasing without resentment. This is spiritual maturity. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you understand that every encounter, every eye you look into is a messenger, a whisper from the soul realm, a reminder you've been here before and you're not done yet. So when you meet someone and feel the familiar ache or joy or electric charge, pause, listen, look beyond the physical form. Ask yourself, what are we here to complete? What are we still carrying from lives long forgotten? Sometimes the answer will come in a dream, sometimes in silence, sometimes through the repetition of a pattern you can no longer ignore. These are not just relationships, they are soul chapters. And the moment you open your eyes to this truth, you stop seeing people as coincidences and start seeing them as contracts. Sacred, complicated, beautiful contracts, made by you, for you, with you. Once you awaken to this knowledge that the people in your life are not random, not mere happenstance, everything changes. You begin to live more deliberately. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? And this shift alone opens a portal. It transforms suffering into wisdom, conflict into clarity, loss into liberation. Most people live in amnesia, not because they're weak, but because remembering hurts. It hurts to know that your greatest love may have hurt you in a past life, that your closest friend may have betrayed you long ago, that your parent, your child, your partner, they've been all of it before. The roles change, the souls remain, and healing begins when we no longer judge those roles as good or bad, but see them as the vehicles of transformation they truly are. You might be wondering now, if we keep meeting the same people, does that mean we're stuck? Not at all. You're not stuck. You're cycling through layers, deeper layers of remembrance, layers where forgiveness becomes freedom, where release becomes revolution. And sometimes the cycle ends not because it failed, but because it finally served its purpose. You've met people in this life that shattered you, not because they were cruel, but because your soul needed to break open to expand. You've met people who made you feel seen for the first time, not because they completed you, but because they reflected a piece of your soul you were ready to reclaim. These moments are sacred. These people are sacred. But here's a hard truth. Sometimes you will feel the pull toward someone who is not ready, a soul you recognize instantly, but who does not recognize you back. That's one of the deepest wounds in reincarnated relationships. The soul sees, but the mind resists. The ego fears what the heart knows. In those cases, your lesson may be to love without attachment, to send light without expectation, to walk away, not in anger, but in understanding that their role was only to stir the embers, not build the fire. And what about the strangers, the people you've never met before, but who cross your path with such intensity that it feels like fate itself placed them in your way? Sometimes they are new souls. Sometimes they are returning souls in new forms. And sometimes they are guides wearing human masks. Avatars sent by your higher self to redirect your path. Yes, that's real. Not every person is who they appear to be on the surface. Some are vessels, and when their purpose is complete, they disappear like a dream at dawn. There are also soul clusters, groups of souls who reincarnate together, switching roles each lifetime to balance karma and expand collective consciousness. Your sibling today may have been your parent 3 lives ago. Your enemy now may have once been your lover. These shifting roles create a tapestry of evolution, and your soul agreed to every thread. You came here not to escape these dynamics, but to master them. So, how do you know when you've met someone from your soul past? The signs are everywhere. A sense of déjà vu that lingers longer than it should. A pull in your gut that has no logical explanation. Dreams that feature their face long before you meet. Conversations that feel like continuations, not introductions. Emotions that are too intense, too immediate, too ancient. You might feel comfort or unease or both. That's how the soul speaks, in paradoxes. It knows what the mind hasn't caught up to yet. And if you're asking, why do I keep attracting the same type of person? The answer lies not in punishment, but in patterns. Repeating patterns are not the universe mocking you. They're maps. Maps pointing to the lessons you've avoided, the boundaries you haven't set, the wounds you're still carrying. Your job is not to avoid these people. Your job is to evolve through them. Each time you choose differently, to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, to love with discernment instead of desperation, to walk away when needed, to forgive when ready, you rewrite the contract. You ascend the spiral. You break the karmic loop. Eventually, you reach a point where recognition no longer stirs pain. It brings peace. Where soul encounters no longer confuse you, they awaken you. And in that space, you begin to magnetize different people. Not just karmic lessons, but dharmic allies. Souls who walk beside you not to challenge, but to co-create. To build the next world, the next version of you. You are never truly alone. In every face, in every meeting, your soul is whispering to you, look deeper. Remember. And as you remember, your reality shifts. Time bends. The past merges with the now. And you see, truly see, that the universe is not a cold, random place. It is an intricate, living mirror. And every soul you meet is a reflection of how far you've come and who you're still becoming. So the next time someone steps into your life and shakes your soul, don't rush to define it. Don't cling, don't run, just be still. Listen and ask, what are you here to remind me of? The answer may not come with words, but your soul will feel it. And that's more than enough.